Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fixin MaTools. On this episode, it's once again a Harbor Freight tool. It's my Chicago Electric 14-inch electric chainsaw, and for some reason this thing is leaking all of its bar and chain oil. So let's get into this, see if we can get it fixed. Well, the first thing we have to do is get that oil cleaned up and kind of see if we can figure out where the source is. I noticed when I pulled this first screw out that the second screw was a different size and then the third one was. So what I did was I lined them all up in a row, and I knew exactly how I took them apart, and I put them back the exact same way. I am always nervous when I take something apart, and it's mainly because of springs. And this one has two springs, but fortunately they didn't come springing out at me, and they pretty much stayed in place. So this opened up pretty easy, and there were no major surprises. I'm hoping right here that it's something real obvious, like the hose came off or a clamp came off, but that's not the case. And as I get further in the cleanup, I notice that around the grommet there, it's not cleaning up, and it turns out it looks like silicone on there. And here you can see from the consistency of it, when I first looked at it, I thought that was a lot of oil around there, but it's like jelly. So whatever the sealant they tried to use on there just wasn't compatible with oil. It just broke it down into like a gel. Well, that's the problem there. This little lip takes this little rubber thing, and for some reason it just really wasn't fit up here correctly. So I'm going to try So here it goes back on there. They had silicone that up for some reason. I guess the chintziness saving money. And that goes on there, but that's not really flush. So I'm going to try to get that a little bit more squared up. And hopefully maybe put a shim in there or something. Or I've got this grommet. It's not perfect, but I've been whittling on it to get it to try to mimic it. See if we can make it work. What I did is file this so this is flat now, and instead of trying this old bushing that was on it, I took a grommet and kind of, shined it down. Cut it down with an X-Acto knife and get that baby in there, and this should fix it. Okay, so this is what I did. I took one of these grommets that I had, took an X-Acto knife, cut it, and cut one of the lips off to kind of get it more like the original. And then the inside was a little bit too tight, so I took the X-Acto knife and cleaned that out. And that is now on the bottom here. Now, I've left this overnight and there are no leaks. So this repair for the leaking part is done. So I'm going to clean it up and get it back together. One more thing of note is some grease. I'll show you. There's really not any grease in here, but I'll show you where the grease is on the other part. So here's the grease that's supposed to be in there. So what I'll do is I'll put all that grease back in there where it's supposed to go, get this thing back together, clean up the chain, and let's see how this repair worked. And I just redistributed the grease in on the gear and on the inside gear. Well guys, thankfully this turned out to be a real easy fix, and I'm not quite sure who put the sealant on there, whether it came from the factory like that or whether this was a return because it was leaking and somebody put some sealant on it to just sell it. I'm not sure. But anyway, putting a new modified grommet on there saved this tool from leaking oil all over the place, and this goes back into the useful tool pile. And anyway, thank you for watching. And as long as I'm buying these cheap tools, I'm sure there'll be more episodes of Fixin MaTools. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.